Started with the news and that guilty verdict in a case that's been troubling. It's a troubling storyline that's been rumored and then repeated for many years. R. Kelly now facing decades in prison after being convicted in a federal sex trafficking case in New York. The R&B singer stood trial for numerous accusations of misconduct involving women and teenagers. National correspondent Paul Gerke live outside the federal courthouse in Brooklyn, New York. What's next for him?
Good morning, Adrian. Now he waits until May 4th when he's sentenced to find out how long he'll be behind bars, anywhere between 10 years and the rest of his life. After 2 years of deliberation behind me, the jury reached a verdict yesterday, signaling the end of a grueling, emotional trial that began in mid-August. 45 witnesses were called by the prosecution, recounting graphic accusations of sexual misconduct. Several were Jane Does, including some no longer with us, like Jane Doe number 1, who was Aaliyah, the famous singer who died in 2001. She was married to Kelly when he was 27 and she was just 15. The prosecution built a case detailing a quarter century of accusations, proving to the jury ultimately that Kelly was the head of a criminal enterprise which lured young girls, boys, and women in for his own sexual gratification. He was found guilty on 9 counts, one of racketeering with underlying acts, including kidnapping and sexual exploitation of a child, and 8 counts of violations of the Mann Act, which is a sex trafficking law. Jacquelyn Kasulis, the acting U.S. attorney from the Eastern District of New York, shared her reaction in a statement.
Today's guilty verdict forever brands R. Kelly as a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the young, the vulnerable, and the voiceless for his own sexual gratification.
An attorney for Kelly says they're disappointed in the verdict and may file an appeal. You'll hear from his defense coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. And Kelly's not done either. He's still facing federal charges in Illinois and criminal charges in Minnesota. He has pleaded not guilty to all of those accusations and denies any wrongdoing. Adrian?
Yeah, it'll be interesting how this unfolds. We'll be talking to an attorney for some of the women involved in this case a little later on this morning. Thank you, Paul.